Hello, it's your girl Ty Brown. And first and foremost, I want to thank everyone for watching my videos as much as you guys do because we have some really great news. I'm going to start having ads on my videos because YouTube wrote me and thought it was a great idea. And you know what? I am absolutely down for that. So keep watching, keep staying tuned because we have a lot of great things that we're going to be discussing. For example, today's topic. So this past weekend, I got the opportunity to go to LA, hang out with some friends. I saw Wolfgang Gartner, and that was sick. But I'm originally from New York City. So this video is about New York City versus LA or LA versus New York City, whichever way you want to put it. So I'm the type of person I like to be able to see something or try something or do something before I have an opinion on it because I feel like when you do not have the first-hand account, sometimes you're biased to what really exists there. So I had this entire imagery, right, of what I thought LA was. And when I got there, some of the stuff that I perceived in my mind existed, and then there were other things that I was just like, wait, what? All right, so let's just put it out there. New York City rocks, LA rocks, but they are completely different places, which makes a lot of sense because they're on, either sides of the coast. So, me growing up in New York City, this may in some way be biased, and I understand that, but I promise you I'm a fair person and I'm going to be as fair as possible in saying the differences. So, right off the back, New York City is so much more busier than LA. It's really like fast-paced energy and stuff is going on and people are constantly moving, and I feel like that's where the notion that people from New York City don't really care and that they're kind of like hardcore and that they don't, really care about other people and listen. And you know what? It's true. It is true. I'm not gonna lie. People in the city, there are a lot of friendly people, but for the most part, someone's going to be walking and they're going to be having a destination that they need to get to, and they're gonna get there, whether you're in their way or not. So growing up in New York City, you have to grow a layer of skin that's going to allow you to navigate efficiently and that's going to allow you to get what you want at a timely fashion because if not, you're going to be kicked to the curve. I noticed in LA, a lot of people are way more laid back and a lot more friendly, a lot like, hey, like, what's going on, like quick to talk to you whether or not you started the conversation or not. And stuff like that does happen in New York City. People do start conversations, but the vibe in LA is a lot more like chill, a lot more surfer boy, surfer girl, like, hey, what's up, you know what I mean? And I guess that comes from just it being sunny a lot. You know what I mean? If it's sunny all the time, like I'm gonna be a little more happier. I would think you would too. Something I didn't like too much in my visit in LA, mind you, like I didn't go to every single part of California, so I'm just giving you the juice of what I saw from my personal experience. I felt like the city of LA was it existed but it wasn't that beforehand. I feel like it was made to be that. I felt like it was a lot more superficial. People I, I don't know if necessarily they dressed up more, but they were just like prone to be looked at. Like they knew that people were watching them. So the way that they dressed was a little different. It was dressing to impress, I want to say, versus the people in the city. People wear cut up shorts and like Vans and like a t-shirt. And there are people that work at Fifth Avenue that get dressed up in suits. But I felt like in LA, it was more glamorized. And in the city, it's more like you're wealthy, so you dress that way, or you're not wealthy and you dress this way, or you're wealthy and you could dress that way, but you still like wearing a ripped up jacket because you feel it looks hipster and you think you're a hipster. right? And it's just, I don't know, it's really funny because if you think about the culture of LA, like the whole hippie vibe started there. But LA is not hippie at all. Like, if anything, New York City is way more like hippie, which transcends into the hipster style. So it does make a lot of sense. Another thing I noticed is that LA, the the art of the music industry and the acting industry and the modeling industry, it's so ingrained in what their culture is that, I mean, I went in a store, in like a just a convenience store, and there were like headshots and resumes hanging on like the borders of the store. You will never, ever, ever see that at any store in New York City, right? So I was just like, oh, okay. So I guess the whole, people walking in suits all the time is rooted because of what exists in New York City, of where the system of money is in New York City versus what the system of money is in LA. You show what you got versus in the city. I mean, you can see a guy that looks pretty much like a bum just like on the corner, and granted, he could be a millionaire. I feel like in LA, you would know that he's a millionaire. Um, if you're thinking about where you should live after school and you're thinking about the big cities like Chicago, New York City, LA, Boston, I haven't been to every single big city, but I have been to the most talked about big cities. I've lived in one of them all my life. And it really depends on what you want to do as a career, what you're looking to be. If you're looking to be in entertainment, then yes, go to New York City. Um, but if you're really looking to shine and to have people be doing the exact same thing that you're doing, then maybe LA is the place that you should be. But I really feel like it depends on the vibe of a person that you are. I don't know, for some reason people think I'm from LA sometimes, but I think it's pretty evident that I'm from New York City. And in terms of vibe, I mean, LA is a lot more like chill and like laid back and like let me write a play, and New York City is more like fast and like going and going and going and going. And I feel like the best way is to visit both and see where you can be. From my experience, I could be in LA for a couple months, but I would never want to live there for a long period of time. It's just too slow for me. Um, I just feel like there's so much culture in New York City that you cannot, it's literally like you can't get enough of it. You will meet every single person imaginable in New York City. I don't know if you can do that in LA. They call New York City the melting pot for a reason. So I just go so hard for New York City. And I know a lot of people, especially people from small towns, are like, what is it like in the city? Like, what is it like in LA? If you have the opportunity of visiting both, please do so. But literally, when you go to New York City, you are just like in heaven. It is so fantastic. Your eyes are just like, you're looking everywhere because there's so many interesting, not only people, but things that draw your attention. It's not odd to see thousands of people dress very strange on a normal day basis. And I think that's what a lot of people like about the city. And that's why people that grew up there or that live there will vouch for the city so hard. So that's my spiel. I know that was a lot. I hope I gave you insight. And if you were thinking about living in one place versus the other, I personally would go with New York City. So that's my story. But I love you, LA. You're sick. You're sick, and I love you, and I get you. But I just go hard for the city. All right, take care.